Welcome to Arcade Couch, the best place to chill with your friends and get your gaming goodness every Saturday at 6 a.m. My name's Dylan Blight, and joining me on the couch this week, Ashley Hobley.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here after all the games are out.
Yeah, damn right. After all the games, it's basically the end of the year, you know?
Yeah.
As we was just discussing right before we started recording, there is literally not much coming for the rest of the year, so it's like...
Nothing on the scale that was released day of recording.
Over the last fortnight, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, let alone day of recording.
No, Need for Speed Heat.
That's the one.
Death Stranding.
I have all of these games, and I've played... well, actually, I have... In my vicinity, I have Death Stranding, Need for Speed Heat, Pokemon Sword and Shield, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
What's the other one?
Yeah, I was like, Jedi Fallen Order, that's it. And I've played one of those. but today on the show, we're going to be breaking down old news from X019. I'll give you my Death Stranding thoughts as I've finished it. Ash will give you his Death Stranding thoughts as he's played it. Brief, because of course we went hardcore on Platinum Explosion. And Ash has Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order first impressions. I have none to join in, but I will be here. But first... a couple bits of news to go over. So firstly, Google's Stadia launch lineup has dropped. This isn't super relevant to Australia, but of course we've been covering the Stadia, so I'm like, should discuss the launch lineup. So on November 19th, the Stadia launches, and here are the games that you can play on launch day. And I'm going to list them all because that tells you how many there is. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Destiny 2 The Collection, Guilt, Just Dance 2020, Kine, Mortal Kombat 11, Red Dead Redemption 2, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Samurai Shodown, Shadow of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, Thumper, and Tomb Raider Definitive Edition.
Those are games.
That's a very poor launch lineup for Stadia. IMO. I think that's a general consensus anyway, so there are more games.
Well, the fact that they've got nothing
to blow you away.
We just listed a bunch of great games that just came out. None of those games are on that list.
Yep.
Admittedly, 2 of those are exclusives, but the other 2 they could have picked up.
Yep. The funniest thing is that, as this article, Vice here says, yes, you read that right. 3 of Stadia's 12 launch games are Tomb Raider re-releases. Tomb Raider Definitive, Shadow of Tomb Raider. Well, not re-release. 2 of them are re-releases, I guess. But 3 Tomb Raider games of the 12 is still like, wow. The only exclusive is Guilt, which I would love to play from Tequila Works, which is the creepy sort of horror game, but not like a horror game, like the girl or whatever creeping around, third-person adventure game thing. That's always looked cool from the moment they revealed that. I still don't know how exclusive that is, and I have hopes that'll actually obviously come to other platforms eventually, and they're maybe just doing the whole like it's exclusive, you know, kind of like Death Stranding. It's exclusive. It's not, you know, like eventually. So I hope for that. That's always looked cool. But other than that, there's nothing definitely to blow you away in that launch lineup. Like if you were picking like there's no reason to get a Stadia day one. As cool as Guilt looks, I don't think that's obviously big enough to draw you away from all the games that have dropped over the past fortnight. And really, the only people jumping into this are going to be people just trying it out. You know what I mean? They're not playing the games because they're games. They're playing it to test out the technology more so than playing the actual games. You know what I mean? So like, I can't wait to try out Stadia and the exclusive... No, we're going to play a Tomb Raider game. Yeah. They do list here that there is a bunch of games coming before the end of 2019, so over the next, 6 weeks, I guess, basically. Attack on Titan 2, Final Battle, Borderlands 3, Darksiders Genesis, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, Farming Simulator 19, Final Fantasy 15, Football Manager 2020, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Grid, Metro Exodus, NBA 2K20, Rage 2, Trials Rising, and Youngblood. Wolfenstein Youngblood. I would say if you add all of those games to the other list, and that's the launch lineup, that would be a lot better.
Yeah, that would be way better.
There's
at least that you feel comfortable with at least double the lineup. So, I mean...
it's...
And that's a wider range of
literally
games.
double lineup. a lot wider range of games and different things to try out, and more recent games as well in that
and
list.
probably like
obviously,
more
with Borderlands
mainstream,
and Ghost Recon,
widespread games.
Yeah,
like NBA 2K20 would be potentially a huge get. So
it's really weird because the launch list is basically a lot of old games, and then the list coming before the end of the year is a lot of actual stuff from this year. Obviously, Wolfenstein, Rage 2, Metro, Breakpoint, Borderlands. I'm sure there's other stuff there. Ghost Football Manager, whatever. Yeah, weird. I don't really care, obviously, because it's not coming here. But Stadia, if it was coming here, has a kind of poor launch lineup. From Nintendo Life, yes, the Sonic movie redesign was led by Sonic Mania animator Tyson Hess. Yeah. The revised design of Sonic the Hedgehog and Paramount's upcoming movie has been revealed, and it's been widely praised as a huge, massive, incalculable improvement on the character seen in the original trailer. Following the debacle surrounding the initial reveal, Sonic Gate, Hedgehog Gate, it's always a gate, it was rumored that Tyson Hess, Sonic fan extraordinaire and animator of the excellent Sonic Mania intro movie and accompanying shorts, was involved in the emergency redesign of the fastest thing alive. And it has been confirmed, as he tweeted out, honored to have been brought in to lead the design on the new movie Sonic, working with Jeff and the modders, riggers, texture, furras, and animes in LA, London, and Vancouver was a thrill I'll never forget. And this was a winning story, really, because he was one of the most popular tweets when the original design came out. He did a mock-up and was like, hey, I like... You know, he kind of changed some stuff and tweeted out. It was like, this is kind of how I would go about doing a, live action Sonic. And he was one of those, the more popular tweets that was doing like reworks of the design. And at the time, everyone was quoting his tweet and being like, let this guy do it. Like he's done Sonic before. Like, get this guy involved with the movie, blah, 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 blah. And then like a month later or whatever, he posted some GIF, like without saying anything, but it was just the GIF of Iron Man from Iron Man 1 saying, I am Iron Man. And then people were like, what's it mean? Is he confirming it? And of course he couldn't say anything at the time, but now we know that he actually got brought in to basically turn the ship around that was the Sonic movie. We've both watched the trailer. Would you say that bringing on board someone that's actually been involved with the Sonic franchise to help do the design of Sonic proved well?
Yes.
Shocking. It's a shocking turn of events, really.
I mean, it seems bizarre that they went so far away from the like design of the character. I mean, it doesn't help that this year we had Detective Pikachu, which was a like perfect adaptation of
it doesn't look exactly like it doesn't look like a cartoon, but it looks close enough in like with some like all the Pokemon look different, but still close enough to what that it's not disgustingly weird is the thing, Yeah. And they brought on someone who did a lot of like fan Pokemon designs to help with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get the fans involved or people who care about the property rather than, not to say that people who were working on it before didn't care about the property, but probably not to the same degree that these fans and these people who worked on them do and have. I feel like initially they were trying to go too realistic or gritty or something, which was completely the wrong tone and it's designed for the character. So it looks great, looks a million times better. Just the trailer in general is a better cut trailer. Like it gives a better impression of what the actual movie is going to be. And hopefully they make a lot of money. So then they go, hey, it was all worth it.
I gave zero shits about the movie, the original trailer. When this new one dropped and I watched it, I was like, this actually looks so much better. Not just from the design of Sonic, but just the general tone of the trailer. It seemed like they weren't trying to be cool, hip, some weird like thing. They were just like having fun with it, here's Sonic, a fun.
The tone completely changed.
Like, here's a silly character.
Ben Sport's voice fits this design of the character. And like even just scenes that we've seen before just play better with this new
version. Yeah, and they show some same scenes like that. Obviously the famous one where he's in the garage or whatever when he comes in and he originally showed those horrible teeth and stuff. So
human teeth. Yeah.
And it really is like after all everyone see I still kind of stand by what I said originally about this, which is I don't like setting a precedence of bitch and complain enough and people will change what they do, because I think obviously sometimes the second you start being like the public is always right is the second that potentially your art can get wrong. This is a case where the public was right, but I think I don't think setting a standard of if people yell and scream enough, change it is good. Which is why, as much as I don't like the ending of Mass Effect 3, I've never been a fan of the fact that BioWare changed the ending because people complain so much. You know what I mean? I didn't like the ending, but I wish they'd just not given in to people complaining and just been like, well, this is our ending. It's our game. Suck it.
I mean, the outrage was so much that they looked at that and they went, hey, nobody's going to come and see this unless we fix it.
Yeah.
So as much as we want to say they're fixing the problem, they're like, hey, we want to take your money, so we're going to placate you to a certain extent.
Well, yeah, and I just really hope that everyone that was complaining actually goes watches the movie now, but I don't believe that's actually what's going to happen because most of those people complaining probably wouldn't watch it nonetheless. I mean, I'm not going to say all of them, but there's probably a high number, I would say.
High number than we're going to see it before.
I hope so.
I mean, it was meant to come out 8th of November.
Yeah.
So it's good. I mean, in another universe,
Valentine's Day,
there are people also not watching this movie at the moment.
I feel like I probably would have gone and watched it.
Just because...
I probably would have felt like for the memes. Yeah, for the memes, let's be honest, for the memes. Let's get into so PlayStation Lifestyle writes, the Game Awards 2019 ceremony will air on December 12th, 2019. That's right, less than a month away. In celebration of all the best video games that have released this year, this just so happens to be the same day as the opening for the film Jumanji: The Next Level. The Game Awards creator Jeff Keighley has partnered with Cinemark and Sony Pictures to bring a memorable night to 53 theaters across the US for $20. You'll have the opportunity to catch the 2019 Game Awards ceremony on a big screen, followed by the Jumanji sequel.
Jumanji. It's a funny word.
Jumanji. Keighley noted that he always wanted to combine his award show of cinema, saying, cinema is something interesting that I've always wanted to do. This opportunity presented itself this year, taking games and putting it in movie theaters and not interrupting any of the current ways that you can watch the show. It's really addictive, but I love the sense of community coming together in a theater and having these shared moments. I think this is the next stage for us, to have local events in cities where people can get together to watch the show. Along with that, Senior Vice President of Global Content at Cinemark, Justin McDaniel, said, we know video games are a big passion point for the huge segment of our audience, so this unique super ticket brings fans the ultimate night out at the theater. Cinemark is proud to be the only place to see both the opening night showing of Jumanji: The Next Level and the Game Awards live on the big screen. I got to be honest, I put this story in because I thought it was quite funny. I think it's funny.
I tell you what, as soon as it gets out, Hideo Kojima wants to do movies. Suddenly, Jeff Keighley's interested in cinema.
Wow. You follow in your father's footsteps.
It's an odd one.
It's a very odd one.
I mean, who wants to sit through 3 hours of the Game Awards and then watch Jumanji: The Next Level? Yeah. I mean, I probably would if they're not for $20.
No, but the other thing
it's a time
$20 American as well. Imagine how much that would be here.
Yeah, and then you've got to get your popcorn.
More than one popcorn, more than one drink. You're there for 5 hours probably.
5 hours? Yeah. Better be an intermission.
Another thing that annoys me is, I was like, is there an intermission or is there only like a quick, it's like, hey, 50 minutes and then the movie starts? Because I'll be like, motherfucker, they just revealed Batman
There's
Arkham.
Ad breaks during the Game Awards though, isn't there?
Yeah, I guess. There is ad breaks, but still, it's like if there's only 15 minutes at the end of the show and the last thing they reveal is like Batman Forever or some shit, the game, you'd be like, excuse me, can we postpone bloody Jumanji so I can discuss the reveals and what I've just witnessed?
I need to get on Twitter to see the reaction to Batman Forever the game.
Yeah, I was like, the last thing I want to do is watch freaking Jack Black pretend to be I can't remember the actor that he's pretending to be in this movie. I've watched the trailer. Old guy.
Danny
Glover. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. No, Jack Black's the young guy this time.
Oh, yeah. The Rock's the...
Kevin Hart's Danny Glover, and The Rock's Danny DeVito.
Yes, that's it. What?
The Dannies.
Yeah, the Dannies. I still
can't believe they've never been together before.
Yeah, it's I still haven't watched the first Jumanji. And by the first Jumanji, I mean the first of the reboots. I've watched the
third movie in the Jumanji saga.
Jumanji saga, yeah, as Jack Black would put it. Yeah, I probably should watch it because then I can tune in to the Game Awards at home, and then
I mean, you can probably go
run to my cinema, run to my cinema, stay afterwards, and be like, I'm participating, but it's cheaper. What a weird story. Anyway, Game Awards.
I mean, surely The Rock is going to be at the Game Awards then.
Maybe that's the time. Maybe this thing's happening. If Rock's at the Game Awards, does it beat Keanu at E3? I don't know. What would excite people more?
Because Rock's everywhere.
Oh yeah, that's probably true. I will say that Jeff Keighley also tweeted out earlier. I saw that nominees are going up next week, so we may or may not mention those. These are not the final list because it's like these are the ones that people will vote on. Yeah, so it's like it's stage one.
It's going to be really surprising when Jumanji the game is up for Game of the Year.
Wow, that's out next, like soon, I think as well, like sometime soon. So I don't know if I think it's past the date of eligibility. Actually, I'd love to know when the date of 2019 games cutoffs was for the Game Awards, because obviously if nominees are up soon,
it's after Death Stranding.
Yeah, I'm like, when, is it literally like November 8th or some shit? It's like, yeah, Jeff Keighley's like, move that date there. I mean, look, I'll say straight up, Jeff Keighley probably moved that date like how I moved the movie date for our awards up to so I could potentially have Star Wars in. I'll just be honest. Like Jeff Keighley's like, yeah, I probably need Death Stranding to be eligible. I'm like, I probably need Star Wars to be eligible. Let me move this date.
just to make people happy. Yeah.
I'm like, well, moving the date's different than rigging the votes.
What about Sniper Ghost?
Oh, don't even. Jesus Christ. Let's get into what we've been playing, and we'll start with the Death Stranding. Earlier in the week, on Tuesday, we gave I'd say it's weird to call it first impressions because it was about 15 minutes. It was basically the entirety of this week's Platinum Explosion episode, the last one that came out. So that was a very long first impressions. I've now since finished the game somehow and written up a review.
You kept playing it. That's how you.
I had a lot of late nights. And then
I think you kept walking. That's what happened.
You can read my review over explosionnetwork.com, of course. I did give it a 9.5. And I'm as surprised as you are, because honestly, if you asked me like 2 months before the game was coming out, if I cared much about it, I would say no, I don't. Looks weird. I don't know what it's about. I'm zero intrigued, and now it's suddenly become one of my favorite games of the year. I think briefly I can say the reason I like it so much without spoilers, obviously, and you should go listen to Platt, and then probably next week's Platt, well, I'll go a little bit more, but it does a lot of really unique things. As much as I think everyone's boiling it down and making the jokes about it being a walking simulator, but it's so much more than that. I think once you actually dive into it and start playing it, it's either going to click for you and it's not. It definitely clicked for me. And finishing that game and just like, it was one of those games where, you've had a real experience when the credits are rolling and you're just like, whoa, like you get that feeling for games or movies or whatever it is sometimes where credits just start rolling and you're like, I have just participated in something big, and that's how I felt playing Death Stranding. And it definitely felt like I'd played through such a monumentally tiring, tedious at times, but really rewarding game. And I was honestly I think the other reason I liked it so much is because it was a Kojima game that was kind of batshit crazy and had heaps of like metaphorical shit thrown in, but still by the time I finished it, I'm like, I honestly feel like I understand like pretty much everything by the end of the game, which is really weird because I don't think any other Kojima game I've ever been like, I still don't know what the fuck this is on about. But this one, I was like, I get it. I think I get it. So that also made me feel well. Obviously, since Tuesday, you've played some more. How long do you reckon you're up to now, and how are you feeling about it? It's the same, or?
I think I'm almost at the 20-hour mark. I'm up to episode 5.
Oh, you're on the way then, because once you pass 3 is like a quarter of the game.
Yeah, 3 I feel like was the major.
That's a major hurdle.
And 4 just went real quick. 5 feel is going to go really quick. So it's all downhill, like all much easier from here. So I'm still enjoying it. I feel like I'm going to continue to play it. It's going to be a juggling act for the next couple of weeks.
It's a struggle, but you could be like, I kind of feel like I'll do like half an hour. I don't know, deliveries more chill.
Yeah, I mean, I'll sort of drive my truck here and there. Maybe I'll leave it running so see if people like drop stuff on the roads, and then I don't have to put them.
Wow.
Do people drop stuff offline, or do you have to be online when they drop one?
I believe. It's very confusing.
Maybe I'll just leave my PlayStation on. Be online the entire time. People just dropping bridges and supplies everywhere.
My last thing I'll say about it is, I did a trip basically across half of the map towards the end of the game, and I brought a truck just full of supplies, and I kept building every single road I could, and then every time I'd build one, next second it would just be like, you've got like 2,000 likes. For like these bridges were just getting built, I guess, in people's games. The next second I was just getting a billion likes off them and stuff. I was literally just like, and here's a road, and here's a road, and here's a road. Give me all the likes. Yeah, I'm such a good Samaritan over here, just with my truck full of goodies, taking it across country. Just doing a good job.
You just take everything from everyone?
I kept stopping at different places and completely taking out all the materials, and then basically using that on the way to the next place, and then taking out all the materials. And I just did that on the way. Yeah, okay, it works.
No, makes sense. They're not going to use it.
No, it's fine. They don't need them. All right, I played Squidgies Takeover, which is a game from Giant Margarita. We played it at PAX. It's a Switch exclusive game from the team down here at Hobart, Tassie team. Really enjoyed it at PAX. I've played through, I'd say 80% of levels. I haven't played every single one, but I'll say one of my things I was hoping. Well, I should describe what the game is first in case you don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Squidgies is a game where basically different sorts of blobs, alien creatures will kind of come through this tube, and it's a puzzle game. And it starts very simple. It's like one of them, for example, you can click on it. You can play the game either with the touch screen on the Switch, if you're playing it handheld, or you can use the Joy-Con as like a motion control mouse pointer thing at your TV. And like the first level is very simple. Squidgy comes down, you tap it or click on it, whatever, and it turns into an arrow, and it pauses time, and then you kind of just make the arrow point towards the exit of the level, basically, and then all the squidgies that come down the tube suddenly get flung along to the exit. Level done. Obviously, they get more harder as you go along because they introduce more squidgies. One, you'll click on it and it turns into like a brick. It just stops. Other ones turn into like things that basically grip the roof and then like swing across. And you got to like, some of the levels, it's like these things will be coming down and they'll be falling off a ledge, and then you kind of go click on them at the right time and like perfectly make it so they swing across a gap kind of thing. And the levels get harder and more you're going on, whatever. You can speed up the level. You can slow down the level. Puzzles easy enough to get your head around. The thing that bothers me about the game is still what bothered me at PAX though, which is that I did not have a good time playing it with the Joy-Con. And at PAX, very much was like writing it off as there's a lot of interference and shit happening here. Like we'll give it a pass because we're inside PAX. Still at home, I was like, this feels like a terrible way to play this game. Like these things that come down, I'm just like, the Joy-Con is not precise enough as a pointer to make this work. And I was getting frustrated as fuck trying to play it that way. And I was like, the only way I feel like this game is playable is using the touchscreen. And then even then, the touchscreen on the Switch isn't as good as the touchscreen on my phone. So that made me feel like it really should just be in a mobile game. Honestly, as bad as that sounds, because I'm like, the Switch touchscreen does work, but there would be often times where like something would be coming down and I swear to God, I'd like tap it, but it wouldn't recognize. And then I'd be like, oh, restart level. Try it again. Tap it. Doesn't work. Oh, restart level. Okay, this time it works. But I'm like, why didn't it work the 2 times before? Like, how hard do I have to press the screen? And I don't think that's just my switch.
Because you didn't do it properly.
And I don't think that's just like my switch screen's broken. That's just a general thing I've had with most touchscreen games I've played on my Switch. The touchscreen isn't as tactile or good as your iPad or your phone, whatever. Like, it's not designed to be a fully like thing. Like, it works, but it's not great. So that's my main problem with it. It's just that. So it leads to a few frustrations where either way you're playing it, I felt like I was having frustrations. Primarily, I was having frustrations using the Joy-Con. But it's still cute. Like, the little characters are cute and they're colorful and whatever. And the puzzles aren't super hard or whatever. If you want a harder version, every time you beat any of the levels, it gives you basically 3 more feats, I think they're called. Like, they're basically just challenges. It's like, beat it by doing this, do it by this. So there's like, if you want to go hardcore and try and 100% it, you can do that. So, like, the first time I booted it up, I was enjoying it as much as I was at PAX, and I played through like pretty much 50% of levels over 2 hours. I just sat there and did it, touchscreen wise, and that was the most fun I had playing it. And then the next day I tried it with the Joy-Con. I was like, "Fuck this game!" So I was like, up down thing with it. But yeah, I'm not sure what the price is. I should have probably checked before I jumped on here, like the price, because I got sent a code by Giant Margarita to play it. But it's one of those games where I'm like, if it is too pricey, I would honestly be wary, simply because you can fly through the levels a lot and there's not much longevity there unless you're a hardcore person that wants to 100% the puzzle game. You know what I mean? But it's fun. It's cute. It's local. It's hard not to want to support it, but still it's hard not to come on and be like, best game. Stazzy, I really didn't want to just come on and say that.
Now
but
they're
like,
they're going to come over and beat you up.
Yeah, well, maybe it's really hard sometimes. I'm like, I just want to be positive just because I want to support it, but then I'm like, well, I can't because I don't want to be a fucking sellout. Well, you know, I'm a sellout, but like selling out my moral ethics, I guess. Yeah. All right, so you said about 90 minutes to 2 hours, whatever it was, into Jedi Fallen Order. I've played nothing because I had a busy morning, and then we've started recording this right as I've got home from work. So the court is yours. What are your general impressions of the Star Wars game?
Great opening sequence that obviously sets up your character Cal, who's a former Jedi. It's perfectly paced. It is very much a traversal, like tutorial thing. You are walking around or going around the shipyard or whatever that he's hiding in, I guess, up post the events of episode 3.
It's 5 years after, I believe.
Star Wars. 5 years? Yes, 5 years after, as he clearly states during the thing. So, yeah, it's enjoyable. The world is like pretty impeccable. It's hard not to compare it immediately to Uncharted because obviously this opening sequence is it feels like an Uncharted like traversal section, you know, and then shit hits the fan and you pull out your lightsaber and you take down those stormtroopers and you take them down in one slice and it feels very good.
How dare
you knock back
you don't
lasers
slice them
people.
though, dude, because you don't slice the human characters. You can only slice the animals, I believe, is what it comes down.
Yeah,
like,
you strike them.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah.
And you know, it just coincidentally don't do any like gory damage.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas the creatures they've shown in the trailers, it's like the creatures you can literally take their limbs off. So
yeah, so I'm enjoying it. I got to a section with some creatures, so yes, I did see them like split right down the middle, and then I spent a good 20 minutes trying to beat this giant, massive lizard thing. Kept getting my ass handed to me.
Yeah. So how hard is the combat? Because obviously people like they were calling it full combat, but obviously the comparisons is Dark Souls. So
yeah, it feels very much like Dark Souls. There's a bit of like waiting, obviously timing your attacks, a lot of evading, at least for the couple of things that I thought it is important. Obviously, like the small creatures, you can just swipe away, knock yourself out. But yeah, blocking, parrying, and evading feel like they're going to be very important going forward. So trying to get that timing down. And then there's also like meditation spots, which I guess is where
bonfires
the game will save. Then you can also heal yourself completely at those points. But then all the enemies respawn.
Yeah, so it's bonfires.
So it's like a trade-off. Yeah. which I guess Dark Souls sort of thing.
It literally is like you can rest here at a bonfire in Dark Souls and it'll reset all the enemies. So it's like,
yeah.
Often it's like the risk reward is if you've cleared all the enemies, if you clear all the enemies in front of you and then you're like really low health and you're like, fuck, I want to keep going and hopefully find another bonfire, or do I literally go back, heal, and try again, to not lose as much health so I can keep going, kind of thing. So,
but I guess with this, you're getting XP to unlock the skill tree.
Yeah, so you can grind your way through it.
You can grind your way up quickly if you want.
Which was one of my complaints about Sekiro. It did not allow you to grind your way through an area if you desired that. So, yeah.
Dylan, nobody cares about Sekiro anymore. They're not angry about that anymore. That nobody
articles still getting
leaves
hits.
Comments on videos from like 6 months ago. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I just met BD.
Yeah. BD1.
The little robot. BD1. It's good.
Cutie robot.
It's a cute robot.
Cutie robot.
His leg's damaged, and you fix it, and then he tests his strength on it. It's very adorable.
Oh. How cute.
Yep, so there you go. There you go. Hashtag cuties game.
Hashtag cuties game. So we'll have, just to for the plugs, have more this week's episode of All Around Explosion, our current Star Wars podcast, as we're rewatching all the movies on the lead up to Rise of Skywalker. We're taking a break from talking about the rewatch this for next week's episode, and we'll be talking about The Mandalorian, but also Jedi Fallen Order. So you have 2 ways over the next week to hear some more thoughts about Jedi Fallen Order. I reckon for All Around Explosion, I'll probably try and just focus on the talking about it from a story point of view and like lore point of view and these sorts of things. Whereas obviously when I talk about it here next week, I'll be that plus it's a game. So like the combat and stuff. All right, cool. Games.
Also picked up Pokemon.
Oh yeah. I've got Pokemon too, but I haven't played anything.
Which one did you pick up? You picked up Sword?
I got the Steelbook. I got both.
Oh, okay. I heard, just anecdotally from the place that I picked it up from, that Shield was selling much better.
Good Ash. Good Just
because Sword Boys...
Yeah. Sword could probably sell more if it could put down...
I just want to say I'm clearly an influencer now, so...
So what you're saying is we should get sent more shit for free?
Yeah, because... I don't know. Clearly, I have an influence on people.
Yeah, that's what an influencer is.
Campaign against the Sword Dog.
Yeah, I believe that's what the influencer is. This morning, inside Xbox, X019 was on. 18 was last year, believe it or not. So it's inside Xbox happens all the time, but this one is one that they do live and special at X019, which is basically Xbox's event. What do you call it? Like their PSX experience, basically, like equivalent. Yeah. Except for they move it around. Last year it was in...
Except it actually happens.
Yeah, that's true. Last year, I can't remember where it was. I've already forgot.
It was Mexico.
Germany or somewhere. Oh, Mexico, that's it. Yeah, Mexico. And this year it is in London City. So they moved around. They do off different things, whatever. So that's cool. Last year's show was really good. They acquired a bunch of studios and stuff. I went into this year's show and I was like expecting some cool announcements. Nothing as big as they've acquired studios, but I would say it was very long. It was 2 hours. Lot of kind of tedious interviews, sort of hosty stuff to sit through. I'm kind of used to it at this point. So I mean, it doesn't bother me so much. But
that's inside Xbox, though.
Yeah, that's inside Xbox in general. They really should just be like, fuck this shit, and be like, Nintendo set the standard. Sony's followed suit at this point. Fuck it. You know what I mean? Like,
sorry, hosts, you're all fired.
Just get on.
Dylan is saying.
It's just because it's so corny. Sometimes it's hard to watch. You know, like I really hate. Because I'm sure, not to say that they're bad people. I'm sure they're good people in real life. But it's just the candid, like, they're reading a script and then they tell a joke and the other person reacts like, oh, good joke and stuff. But that's like, such and such says, laugh.
It feels like teleprompted.
Yeah, it feels very teleprompted and it's really awkward
Conversation.
and weird. A couple of times they had devs on that were nothing against the devs, but the one woman in particular, and she seemed really nice and sweet and whatever. She was happy talking about Project xCloud and whatever it was, but like she was struggling. I think they skipped a part by accident and then she got lost and off track and it was really awkward to watch and all these sorts of things. So I'm like, just streamline this shit. Or like, and if they're not going to streamline it for the rest of the year, make this the only time I have to put up with this. And, you know, they're like, look, we've adopted inside Xbox to be a more like Nintendo Direct thing for the rest of the year, apart from when we do it live at an event. And I would be like, okay, if I have to put up with one of these a year and it's because you're doing it actually live from an event show floor, I'll accept it. You know, I'll accept it. But it's because half the reason most people don't watch Inside Xbox when they do it like every couple of months is because it's like this, but worse. Because there's nothing exciting enough to make you want to sit through the canned laughter. But you could cut those out, like, and put them separate. Yeah. There's just,
they'll still get hits.
Yeah.
There's X-Boy fans who'll watch you and they can just complain about you in the comments.
Yeah. But they'll still watch it, so that's an important part. But overall, I'd say what was revealed, announced, talked about, etc., 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 during the show was good stuff. Not mind-blowing. Doesn't always need to be mind-blowing. But overall, was a solid show with a bunch of cool information and stuff to go over. So, let's dive into it. Firstly, I've got a bunch of miscellaneous shit I've put under here, which is stuff that either we don't really care about because we don't play it, or stuff that wasn't super, like, we don't need to devote a second to it. So the first one, Seabound Soul, a free update coming to Sea of Thieves is coming November 20th. None of us play Sea of Thieves, but I'm sure if you play it, it'll look cool. Flight Simulator was shown off again, and it still looks pretty. I actually might try this out. I don't know how eventual, but only because it's on Game Pass, which I have access to. Like, it's PC Game Pass, right? I know Nick will be jumping into this for sure. 100% has his name written all over it.
I'll tell you what. We're going to bring back hashtag Nick's Mini Reviews.
Hashtag Nick's Mini Review for
this.
For Flight Simulator. But I don't care about Flight Simulator.
No, seriously, I want on the website.
You want to post as an article?
I paid an actual article and it's just a tweet. That's it.
Nick, write a review for this. The sim aspects are good. It looks pretty. I could play for hours. I already have. 10 out of 10 Nick's hashtag Nick's Mini Review. Post article. No wonder we're not going to get onto Metacritic. But it looks really pretty, and I think that's the reason I want to play it. It's just because it looks really good. I don't think it's not the kind of game I'd ever get into. I'm not into like flight simulators or any of these sorts of things, but it looks really good, and I just want to. I'd like to jump in for an hour, have a bit of a fuck around, you know. Age of Empires 4 was showed off for the first time. As they announced that the new Age of Empires studio, World's Edge, which I thought was a funny name for a studio about Age of Empires, was there talking about it on the day of launch of Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, which came out today for both PC and Xbox. So that's cool. If you're into Age of Empires, more shit to come, and there's more cool stuff today. It's in 4K. Get hyped. Minecraft Dungeons gameplay was shown off. Live gameplay. You played it at PAX.
Yes.
I'm watching the gameplay, and I'm like, it looks like the game.
Minecraft Diablo.
Yep. Yeah. I'm watching this gameplay. I'm like, it literally just looks like Minecraft Diablo, which is intriguing. I would very much like to play this game, but at the same time, I'm like, they spent like 6 minutes showing off this game. I'm like, it's Minecraft. You don't need to devote this much time to showing off the game. Like, people are going to buy the game.
You don't really spend much time devoted to this, the highest selling franchise of all time.
Yeah. It just felt weird. They're like, let's do a live gameplay of this. I'm like, this feels unnecessary. This feels unnecessarily long. And they're like explaining things. They're like, you got special abilities. I'm like, There's loot. Procedurally generated. It looks cool.
What?
But I don't need to say this.
You mean they didn't place every single piece of loot specifically in this game?
No. But it's mind-blowing.
Crazy.
Minecraft Earth, which is now out in half the world, I think, has an event over this weekend. So if you're listening to this weekend, in London, New York, and Sydney, where apparently they're going to have giant mud pig statues, moonblooms, and jolly llamas, whatever those words mean in Minecraft dictionaries. Llamas. Jolly llamas? Like, as in it's just a happy llama? Is that what it means?
Yeah.
All right, sure.
Oh.
No?
I assume that's what it is.
I don't know.
Unless you're spelling it wrong.
I don't know. I also didn't look it up.
You've spelt it Lamar.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I copied it.
Is
right.
that what it was?
I don't know. I'm not double checking. We're doing the show.
I mean, maybe it's just Lamar Ball,
Maybe.
just being very jolly.
Maybe it could be. But apparently there are three.
You don't get the reference, but to other people who do, that's very funny.
It's a sports thing. See, I know the name, but I don't know the direct connection. But I just know it's
Context.
a sport. Like sometimes you say jokes, I'm like, that's a sports joke. Do I fully understand it? No, but it's a sports joke. Basketball.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Basketball. Jeez, even more specific. Crazy.
Got him. Lamar. Leroy Jenkins. I don't know. But yeah, so go find those statues if you're in Sydney, London, or New York. I guess they're going to have QR codes. You scan them. Gives you shit for Minecraft Earth, a game which, by the way, we haven't really talked about on this show because me and Ash both tried it, and then we discussed off the show that neither of us had a real understanding of what the game is or what it's about, so we're not really going to talk about it because it would be like, we don't.
They need to fix the range of these adventures. Yeah. I don't want to have to go right up to it.
Yeah. I
want to be close enough. If it's in the circle, I should be able to play it.
You have to be a lot closer than you do for Pokemon, so.
It's bullshit.
Maybe bullshit.
Anyway.
Maybe one day we'll go back. But a new trailer for the Artful Escape was shown off. This is a side-scrolling music game where you're a character like daydreaming about being the world's best guitarist, basically. Cool music, cool art style. Being published by Annapurna Interactive. It's coming to phones as well. Apple Arcade, I think. Don't quote me. I'm pretty sure. Looks cool. New trailer. Seen it before. Cool. Planet Coaster is coming to Xbox One now. If that's a thing you're into, get excited.
Seems an odd place to put it.
It's the same show that they're showing a flight simulator and stuff.
On console.
You know what I mean? Like these Microsoft thing. So this thing we always used to think of these as Xbox events, right? Inside Xbox. They're becoming inside Microsoft because they're doing a lot of showing off Game Pass Ultimate titles, which now includes stuff like Flight Simulator and whatever else, which is very much like
Flight Simulator, I can understand.
PC audience?
Console.
You know, like hardcore PC audience, not Xbox audience. So it's becoming less Xbox and more just Microsoft as a whole. Crossfire X gameplay got shown off, and it looked very solid, I thought. Like, it looked good. They had a XCON Give It To You trailer. I was like, fuck, we hadn't had a DMX trailer for some time, but here we go.
It's been a little while since somebody said X is going to give it to us.
Yeah. And they also mentioned the word Battle Royale, although that's not the mode they showed off, but they did say the game was going to have Battle Royale mode among many other things. Now, if you don't remember, Crossfire X was a game that Phil Spencer made a big deal about at E3 when he announced it was coming to Xbox exclusively. This massive thing from some Asian, I don't know, South Asia.
Smilegate Games.
Yeah. I don't know if it's South Asia or somewhere else. But one of these things that's big over there, right? And they were like, it's coming to Xbox exclusively finally, and they were hyping up as a big thing. But it was really weird during that show because they showed nothing about it. They were like, here's the thing, it's really exciting. And was like, I don't know what the fuck this game is. Why am I supposed to be excited? They showed gameplay here, and I'm still not like mind blown. But I'm like, it does look like a solid FPS. Like, it seems to be a lot happening. It doesn't look cheap, that's for sure. They said it's going to have lots of modes, including Battle Royale. I'm intrigued. I was intrigued when they said Battle Royale because I'm like, Black Ops is dead. I don't care about PUBG. Like, I don't care about Fortnite. I'm like, can this be the one? I don't know. But it's Xbox exclusive. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, intriguing. I'm keen to see more. And then the last thing in the miscellaneous thing here is Wasteland 3 got a new trailer. It was just more Wasteland. Not saying it's a bad thing, but it's like, it was another Wasteland trailer. We've seen a few trailers at this point. But the most important thing is that they showed off, they revealed that the game is coming May 19th, 2020. And actually, this was the information I needed to know. Because even though I could play Wasteland 2, it's on Game Pass. I'm probably never going to get around to that. Maybe over our break. But it's like, would I play that over some other things I'd like to play? Probably not. But they did say that Wasteland 3 is new characters, new whatever. Like, you can jump into it and play it as its own thing if you're intrigued. So if that information helps you like it kind of helped me, I now know that even though it's Wasteland 3, you don't need to have played the other ones to jump into this. So that's helpful. That's good to know. That was the thing that ended the show on as well, which was weird. I thought was weird. I guess they want it to do well. Like they're like Obsidian. They're like last time we was at this show.
First party now, so
yeah, they're like we announced we acquired Obsidian. We announced we acquired In Exile. So far, Obsidian's released The Outer Worlds to great hype. They revealed a new game, which we'll get to in a second. What's In Exile done that we also acquired? We better begin hyping up Wasteland 3. Better start getting people interested in that. We're doing this necessary. All right, so getting into some of the bigger stuff here. Project xCloud. Here's the details that they announced about this. And I will say that, firstly, put a little asterisk on it. None of this is relevant to Australia because they haven't announced it's coming to Australia yet, but I still think it's worth talking about because it's big and it could come here and blah, blah, blah. So Project xCloud is coming to Windows 10 with the ability to use a range of Bluetooth controllers, including the DualShock 4, which, when they said in the show, at least one or two people actually booed. And I was like, wow. Like
they're at an Xbox event, so
I know, but I was still just like, really? Like, are you 16? Like, come off it. It was like, and you're gonna be able to use the DualShock 4. Boo. I was like, fucking hell. So that's cool. It's coming to Windows 10. But basically, this whole thing, as I read off the details here, you'll soon realize that everything that Project xCloud is talking about is basically them saying fuck you to Google Stadia. In 2020, it'll also allow the preview of, because of course xCloud's still in preview, to stream games that already own or purchase in the future. So it's not just going to be like, here's a select bunch of titles that you're able to use on xCloud. They're working to have it so basically all games are streamable, and
anything you bought digitally you can play without downloading them.
Yep. So you're playing your game. It's fucking Google Stadia, really. You're at home, you're playing your game on your Xbox One or Project Scarlet in the future, whatever it is, and you're like, cool, this is great. You can literally then, this is the way it should work, is you should literally then can grab your phone and a controller and one of those fancy things that I did a video about for the PlayStation 1, and you can take that with you, and then you can play your game you're just playing on the go. Seamlessly is how they're saying it should work. Should work is what they're working to make it work on. That's how it should go. They did announce that in 2020 it will be coming to Canada, India, Japan, and Western Europe for preview, and that also game streaming from the cloud is coming to Xbox Game Pass as well in 2020. So yeah, overall, as I said, I view all of that information as beating Google Stadia at their own game, which they have to.
You know what they just did? They quadrupled, gazillion timed the amount of games that you can play on xCloud compared to Google Stadia.
Yeah. Now, I suppose the one thing is, like, Google Stadia's big thing was like, you'll be able to play it on anything. All you need is a Chrome browser or like a Chromecast. But it's like, if now that Xbox is saying, well, we're bringing it to Windows, then it should potentially, that's beating Google at its own game, because Google's whole thing was like, you could stream Assassin's Creed Odyssey at a high setting on a shit PC. All you need is a Chrome browser and bare minimum settings. Now, this should be the same thing. Theoretically. You're streaming it through the app, but I'm pretty sure, that's what I'm saying, don't quote me, but I think theoretically it should be like the same sort of thing. You won't need a high-end PC. I'm not sure.
Potentially.
Not.
It needs to be high-end enough to run the app.
Yes. I guess so. Either way, all these streaming wars are happening in different countries, and we're kind of just watching from Australia. Like, don't matter to us.
I mean, we're Switzerland.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, we're Switzerland in this race. Yeah, it's funny.
And Switzerland's probably going to be involved in these these wars.
Maybe, yeah. Next thing they showed off was Kart Drift, which is coming to beta in December, and it's a free to play kart racer. That is humongous in South Asia. When they revealed it, and they're like, this game has been around for 15 years. And I said, I never heard this shit. You Google it, you look up Kart Rider, and it has had esports tournaments. It's got released in like 2000, whatever it is, 15 years ago, 2004, right, maths? esports tournaments. They had esports players there playing it when they revealed Drift. But it's released through that Nexon launcher thing, which I'd never heard of until last year or earlier this year as well, which is basically this launcher that they use for all these massive free-to-play games over there. There's some other game that's massive that we don't have anywhere in America or Australia or anything that's massive over there as well. So yeah, this is apparently a huge thing. I Googled it. Wikipedia said that Wikipedia, so take this with a grain of salt, but Wikipedia said that 25% of all people have tried the game out at least once.
So everyone in China.
I guess. Yeah. That's massive though.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
It's crazy. I mean, we like to think we're like on the cutting edge, but it's a huge that we know nothing about. Crossfire X, highest played game of all time.
Yeah.
Don't know anything about it. Kart Ride Drift. I mean, we've been missing out on our potential esports thing.
It's true. And Microsoft
wasted all this time playing Mario Kart. There's no esports future in that. Kart Ride Drift. That's where it is. That's where the money is.
Potentially. I honestly, my biggest question at the moment between this kart rider thing and like the Crossfire X, right? For these two games, I'm legit wondering. I'm like, there's no way that this is a coincidence. Microsoft is surely going to these people and saying, we want to bring your games to Western audiences, right?
Yeah.
It can't be a coincidence. Two of these massive games that have never made their way into American audiences, European audiences, etc., and Microsoft is having them as Xbox exclusives. I find that hard to believe that's a coincidence of timing.
No, it's not a coincidence.
Xbox is definitely like seeking these out. Yeah. Could prove to be a silly move, could prove to be a massive successfully move. Because the thing is, just because these games are hugely successful in certain countries doesn't mean they'll be hugely successful outside those countries.
I mean, kart racing is kind of universal, so I feel like this is going to be home run, especially if it's free to play, easy to get into. Everybody loves a kart racer. Crossfire X might be a bit more of a step to get into.
Well, I was going to say, do you think everyone loves kart racing, or people just like kart racing like Mario Kart because they know the characters and it's easy to play? You're like, I like Mario, I know Mario.
No,
grab a controller.
People liked Modern Nation Racer.
Did they do?
People liked Little Big Planet Racing.
No, they did. That one was bad.
I heard people raving about the Nickelodeon one with this earlier this year, so that did really well.
Sure.
SpongeBob, yep. I mean, anybody who's anybody has a kart racing game, so.
Well,
I mean, if it's been in development for 15 years, it must be freaking good.
That was So
We've been working on it for 15 years.
I don't know if the name gives it away, but the big difference between the original one and this one, because this is a sequel. So I think because the original one's just called Kart Rider. This is the sequel after 15 years. They're making a sequel, and it's called Kart Rider Drift. And you know what the big difference is?
You got nitrous, so you can do drag racing.
Yeah, damn right, do drifts and shit. So beta December. I'm keen to try it out simply out of intrigue because of how big it is elsewhere. So cool. They then revealed West of Dead, which is a game in which you play as like a cowboy that's brought back to life, basically. And it's cowboy is voiced by Ron Perlman, and it's a twin stick procedurally generated shooter where you're like fighting off Wendigos and all sorts of like afterlife-y type enemies and these sorts of things. And it's like a twin stick shooter that also makes use of seems like a unique cover system for the genre, where you're constantly having to dive behind cover and these sorts of things. I like the trailer. I like the art style. I'm intrigued. Did you like to look at this one?
Yeah. I think I got like Bastion vibes. I don't know why. Whether it's just Ron Perlman's voice is very similar to the guy.
I was going to say, do you reckon it was just a voiceover? Or?
It could just be the voiceover. But yeah, it looks good. Like jumping around. We've seen a couple of games like this recently. I feel like the twin stick shooter. Like
not Ron Perlman though. Not
with Ron Perlman. That's the selling point. Not with
defining factor.
Resurrected cowboys. So very novel idea.
It's currently has it says beta, but it's basically a demo or whatever.
Yeah.
That is available until the 25th of November. So I'm hoping to find time to to jump into that.
You know, for
Although,
any of those people who didn't pick up any of the 4 games that we mentioned earlier in the episode.
Yeah, that's the problem. I'm like, those things take precedence, but I would like to download it and give it a go for sure. Obsidian Games has revealed their hot follow-up to The Outer Worlds.
I don't know if you know this,
Not
Dylan.
really.
They got 2 teams.
I was going to mention this because I don't know if we say. Well, let's go over the game first, and I'll say over the weird kind of audience reaction people had to this game, which I found quite odd. So they revealed this game called Grounded, and the game is basically, I would say, survival light. And I mean that with a positive factor because I'm interested to play this one, but I don't really have much interest in games like Rust and shit. And I think there's a big difference between this and that because Rust is like hardcore mode, PvE, PvP. You're supposed to be scared of other players as well as other shit and like, hardcore. This is Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. You shrunk down. You can team up with other people, other kids, and you're fighting against ants and spiders and all sorts of creepy crawlies and these sorts of things. But it's only PvE. It's not PvP. So it's literally you and your friends can team up to fight ants. It's got a cool little like sort of family-friendly art style and whatever else. I thought it looked really cool. Did you think it looked cool? Or?
Yeah, it looked pretty solid. I mean, it's different to a lot of stuff we've seen in that genre. I mean, it definitely got Honey, I Shrunk the Kids vibes, the like Fern Tree Gully and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anything with small people. Ants. Live a bug's life.
Yeah. Ants the movie.
Yeah.
A-N-T-Z.
Zed.
Ants.
Woody Allen.
Yeah. But now
Did you watch that one?
The weird reaction was everyone weirdly, and this was happening in the YouTube comments, the trailer I saw, on Twitter I saw this, and also during the Mixer chat when I was watching the thing, was everyone was getting seemingly annoyed because they expected Obsidian to reveal the next great big RPG or the Outer Worlds 2, Outer Worlds DLC, something like that. And they're like, what the fuck is this Grounded game from the people who are making all these RPGs and shit? I'm like, the people that just made Outer Worlds didn't just finish the game and like walk next door and make this overnight. Like this is different. Yeah, but
why is that other team working on this?
Yeah.
Why aren't they making some sort of RPG that everybody thinks of Obsidian making?
Because the other team will go to work on...
Because they had the idea for this game and it doesn't work as an RPG. Yeah. It's as simple as that.
The number one thing that annoys me about this is like the idea that a studio that makes one type of genre and game should only stick to making that. I really don't like when the audience of games like really try and like kind of bully developers for getting outside of a circle that they think they should stick to,
I mean, there are a few exceptions. Obviously Horizon Zero Dawn and Guerrilla.
But
that was very different.
I think if we go back in history, people were very skeptical about that.
Yeah, but I guess Guerrilla was like a smaller, not as big, not as possibly as beloved as Obsidian is.
I guess.
They're the fans of that genre.
I guess. Yeah. It was just really weird to watch. I was like, why?
Yeah.
Why are we getting...
Why are you angry?
Why are we getting so weird about
angry.
this? Next thing that was revealed was Drake Hollow, which is... I was trying to find the studio name because I just forgot it. Molasses Flood. Right, that's it. So this game has a cool, unique art style. Had a cool trailer as well where... basically shows this I guess teenage. They all look like teenage characters. I think get like sapped into this other world and kind of like much like Grounded. This is a like PvE co-op team up game thing where you're fighting off critters and then also farming, I guess, and like taking care of them and building things and growing plants and feeding these cute little weird creatures, and then these other bad creatures show up, and then it shows like you and a bunch of friends all teaming up to take them down. And I was like, cool, I like the art style, I like the general concept, I guess, but I found it quite funny how a lot of these games being shown off are co-op online things, not like
very similar.
Yeah, similar sort of gameplay, I guess. different tones.
And then they also show a trailer for Rust. So
yeah, Rust is coming to Xbox as well. That was the other thing that was shown. So I was like, yeah, a lot of these like sort of similar-ish games. But I thought this one looked cool.
I want you to play
well.
with your friends on the Xbox. So
yeah. This one looked cool, but it came off grounded, so it was hard not to be like. I know this looks different, obviously, but at the same time, I'm like,
but it's
similar.
Yeah,
I guess. Next thing that they announced was Last Stop, which is I don't know how actually they explained it as a
it's like an anthology game, isn't it?
So it's like 3 different character stories where so it's like 3 different character stories they show. It was hard to get your head around while watching the reveal trailer. But it's an adventure game. So like you're pressing speech options and whatever else and doing interacting and whatever else. But there's going to be 3 different character stories, which apparently by the end of it, they will connect and wrap up. But they say it's an anthology, so I guess they're all going to feel very different. And then at the end, they will wrap up and get together. So it's about secret lives is how they pitched it. Game about secret lives that bind and how magic can be found in the mundane is what the description for it leads at. It's from the people that made Virginia, which I liked, but also found to be very weird. And this game has similar sort of
vibe,
Twin Peaksy vibe, and that game was very Twin Peaksy. I don't know if anyone listening has played it, but Virginia is very Twin Peaksy. Next thing,
is it Twin?
Rare announced a brand new IP called Everwild, and we know nothing about the game, how it play, or what you do, but the trailer sure was pretty. It had little cutie animals, apart from the one at the end, which was a scary one, and it shows this human character like walking into a cave at the end. Then it shows a human early in the trailer. You see the human character like interacting with the cutie animals and petting them or whatever else. It was very much a tone piece, but like as a tone piece to show off the art and everything, I was like, yes, I would play the game with the cool antler creature that has big ears and whatever else that cute stuff is happening about in this game. But yeah, there's not much to talk about, obviously, because it's like not much to show there. Although
it's not Sea of Thieves.
It's not Sea of Thieves, and it's Rare doing a new IP. And then this was another one where in the comments for the trailer, everyone's like, "Fuck this game! Why can't you just make Banjo-Kazooie 3?" You know, all sorts of shit like that. I'm like, what?
It's because Blue Point's working on it.
Yeah, imagine. I was like, Rare's making a new IP. Can we just not hope that like instead of hoping the Rare magic returns by them making a sequel to a game, why can't people want the Rare magic to return by them making a new IP like they originally did?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why can't you just get excited about that? New IP from Rare is exciting to me. And I'm hopeful. I like the way it looked, at least. Then the next thing, if at first when they started talking about it, I'm like, this is a throwaway miscellaneous thing. And then when they got to the Discord part of this, I was like, this is actually quite intriguing. So Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members that are eligible, and I tried to find the complete eligibility, but it must be hidden in really small text I couldn't be bothered trying to find. But it's not just new members. So if you sign up now, obviously you're eligible for this. But also if you're a current member, you can just go to your account and get all of this. So I'm not sure who would be uneligible. I guess if you sign up past the date, I don't know. But Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members are going to get, as an early Christmas present, basically, EA access for 1 month, 3 months of Discord Nitro, and 6 months of Spotify Premium. So your subscription service is now chucking you a bunch of other subscription services for free, because why the fuck not? Now, EA and Xbox's current close partnership has been kind of evident over the last year, and I expect that to continue into the next generation because they seem quite close, especially when it comes to, like, they had an EA dude on stage when I was talking about Project xCloud, so that kind of shows. So EA access for 1 month. It's only 1 month. I was like, come on, guys, fucking give away a little bit more room than that. 6 months of Spotify Premium is Okay, yeah, sure, whatever. Spotify Premium, if you don't have it, go for gold. The thing that I found really interesting is the Discord Nitro thing, though. So 3 months of Discord Nitro, and when they revealed this and they talked about it on stage, they were talking about it and really showing Discord a lot of respect and saying, Discord is the place where gamers go to organize raids and multiplayer matches and all this stuff. They were talking about Discord like in a way that honestly gave me a lot of hope, because one of my hopes and dreams for next gen consoles is that they just incorporate Discord. Like I really was hoping, and if anyone's going to fuck this up, it'll be PlayStation. But by them talking about this on stage, I was like, are they? Like, are Discord and Microsoft going to form a partnership to the point where you'll be able to integrate and work with Discord easier on the next gen consoles? And I think that would be a smart move. And I don't want to read too much in between the lines here, but I definitely feel like there's something to it. They're at least in talking grounds, they're teaming up on this partnership here. So, do you feel like that would be a good thing for the next gen, like Discord integration? Like, do you think that's something that could possibly happen? Or
yeah, I mean, Discord is such a synonymous thing with gaming. I mean, it would make sense to incorporate it in some sort of way. I mean, potentially you could save time on voice chat. You could just voice chat through some sort of Discord app in the background, which would be save.
Just put Discord on consoles as an app. Yeah. That's what I want.
This is what everybody wants, yeah. As far as I can tell, as long as you've got Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you get.
Yeah, that's all I could tell as well. That's why I was like, but they worded it and they made sure the right eligible people. I'm like, well, who's uneligible? I couldn't figure out who's uneligible though. So yeah. I guess, but like, do you need to write eligible?
I would just log in right now, claim it, and then it's their problem.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so that's cool. Like, if you've got Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, continues to be worth the money as far as I'm concerned. Especially if you have a PC, if you don't have an Xbox, worth it already. Then you get some more free shit. I've got Spotify already, but I'll see if I can just tap that on, I guess, and get 6 songs extra, I guess. I don't know how it works.
Seeing as we're just touching on Game Pass, I want to point out the massive list of games.
Yeah, I was about to jump into that. Don't worry. Okay. Not moving on too fast past the Game Pass stuff quite yet. So, they did release a massive list of games that will be coming now, tomorrow, into the future, blah 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 blah. So, firstly, here's what has got added today as of recording. Age of Empire. These are. I'll read what's PC and what's not. So, Age of Empires 2 Definitive Editions come to PC. Age of Wonders Planetfall console coming soon to PC. Hearts of Iron 4 Cadet Edition PC. Lego Ninjago Movie video game console. Rage 2 console and PC. Remnant from the Ashes console. Talos Principle console and PC. And Trax the Train Set game console and PC. I never fucking heard that at all. It appeared in the trailer. I was like, what the hell is this? Because at the time I was trying to write them all down in case they never, because I write down stuff because I'm like, the Xbox is pretty good. Like we get sent through the PR email later in the day. I'm like, good. Okay, here's the blog post. They've got it covered. But sometimes I just write it down in case they don't do these things. But so that's all out today. The things that kind of stand out to me are Rage 2, a game that didn't review hotly, but at the same time, I've always been sort of like, could I jump in for like 6 hours, not actually finish the game, but still enjoy the shooting because I've heard the shooting's good, obviously from id. And so they'll have access to that, so that's an option. Remnant, I've been sort of interested in for a while. Talos Principle, interested in for a while. And Age of Empires 2, I'm like, could I like give it it's like muck around for an hour one day kind of thing. Maybe. Put the cheats in.
Get a cool car.
Get a cool car, go ham, do what you need to do. But that's what's out today. A lot of PC stuff there as well as it's not. That's what I'm saying. This it's not an Xbox show anymore. It really is just becoming a Microsoft show. And here is a list of games coming to Xbox.
All PCs and Xboxes now.
So, well, yeah, that's true. Here's a list of games that come into Xbox Game Pass. They say it's holiday throughout 2020. So whatever that means. Basically from holiday season to the end of 2020. I don't know. Carrion is coming to console and PC. Chris Tales console and PC, Cyber Shadow console and PC, Darkseid 3 console and PC, Double Kick Heroes console and PC, Drake Hollow console and PC, Edge of Eternity console and PC, Final Fantasy franchise console and PC, This includes Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 8 Remastered, Final Fantasy 9, 10 HD Remastered, 10.2 HD Remastered, 12 Zodiac Age, 13, 13.2 Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13, and 15 is the online one. Forager, console and PC. Haven, console and PC. It'll Explorer, console and PC. Levelhead, console and PC. Life is Strange 2, Episode 4 and 5, console. My Friend Pedro, console and PC. Pandemic, PC. Fogs, console and PC. She Dreams Elsewhere, console and PC. Skatebird, console and PC. Streets of Rage 4, console and PC. Scourgebringer, console and PC. Superland, console. Tekken 7, console. Tau Lunar Nights, console and PC. The Escapist 2, console. The Red Lantern, console. The Red Strings Club, PC. The Witcher 3, Wild Hunt, console. Vambrits, console and PC. West of Dead, console and PC. And the Yakuza franchise, console and PC. This is Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami, and Yakuza Kiwami 2. So, out of that list, there's a fucking lot there. Now, obviously, I think one of the bigger things was the fact that the Final Fantasy franchise is coming to Xbox Game Pass. I think that's huge. That's undoubtedly quite huge. And then in the runner-up to that, I would say the Yakuza franchise coming to Xbox, and then also to Game Pass is with the Kiwami collection there is also quite huge, I would say.
Yeah.
What anything else stand out to you?
mean,
Or like from those things? Or
I mean, Witcher Wild Hunt, I guess that's a big game if you haven't already purchased it, which I think anybody should have already. Yeah. Darksiders 3, I guess, makes sense with Genesis sort of trying to boost that sales. But yeah, Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy and Yakuza is interesting because the next entries in those games are going to be exclusive to PlayStation.
Yeah. But are they? Is it only for a year? You know what I mean? And then...
Yeah, maybe they're going to be a bit more
open.
Quick.
Don't know.
But yeah. Interesting.
A couple other things that stand out to me. Skatebird. Random little indie game that was shown off at the kind of funny thing.
Wasn't it just on Kickstarter though?
Yeah, I thought.
I could have sworn it was being crowdfunded.
I think it was, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool.
That showing up here was like, okay, interesting. Then the other thing I was going to say was, Chris Tales, which I played for the demo earlier in the year, and you can see my Let's Play at youtube.com/Explosion Network. Right. I really liked the demo. Knowing that I'm going to have access to it is always, that's the thing with Game Pass. It's like once you're paying for it and you see these games come through, you're like, cool, got it. You know what I mean? Like it's like got it. Carrion, which I just played through the demo for as well, youtube.com/Explosion Network. I really enjoyed that as well. It's really weird game where you play as a supernatural monster beast thing, and you go around and kill the humans. So it's like playing a horror game except for you're the horror. So it's opposite day, and that coming is also quite cool. So here, other games I've always been interested in Double Kick Heroes, so I'd like to give that a go as well. Alex Blow, I've always been interested in, but wouldn't have a go. And the Red Strings Club is also something I know is supposed to be good and seems up my alley, but I've never had a chance to check out. Now, but there's more. So here's some more games coming. Ones that we just mentioned as well. These ones are all ones that should make sense. But Bleeding Edge, obviously. Grounded. Bleeding Edge console and PC. Grounded console and PC. Microsoft's Flight Simulator PC. Microsoft Dungeons console and PC. Ori and the Will of the Wisps console and PC. Tell me why console and PC. We'll get to that. Wasteland 3 console and PC. Those will all be at launch as well, which will be good. And these games are leaving. I think this is the first I've seen them announce like stuff's leaving actually, but this always makes sense. This is the thing. People get angry about this when it happens on Netflix. Like, why can't you hold the thing forever? I'm like, it's not how it works. They buy licenses to these things and they run out. Like licenses expire eventually. So like just like they're not taking away stuff just because they feel like it to make you like play other stuff. But these things are leaving on November 30th, it says. But you can buy them, and they make sure to mention in the blog post that if you buy them as a member of Xbox Game Pass, you do get 10% discount on games if you really want to keep playing any of these and want to buy them. So Abzu PC and console, Below console, Football Manager 2019 PC, Grid 2 console, Kingdom 2 Crowns console, and Strange Brigade on console. But there is your basically hectic, absolutely ridiculous amount of Xbox Game Pass games. The service at this point is a must-have, I think, if you have an Xbox. As the titles begin to go on PC, I think it's reaching a point now where the PC titles are also becoming big enough that it may be just a must-have for PC as well. Because when the PC version launched, the games, like, there wasn't actually that many on there, but they are growing now as well, especially while you look at this list. And there's a lot of these that are console on PC, console on PC, console on PC. So it's definitely a growing list. And if you have both, Xbox plus a console, I just think it's a just subscribe. It's a no-brainer, I feel. Yeah. Like, because it only takes like one game or two games and you've got your money. You know what I mean? Like the Outer Worlds, for example. You know, like I it's however much a year, like $80, whatever. I don't remember. But it's like by the time you play like one game like the Outer Worlds, you've nearly basically covered it. Like, imagine I brought that for $69 from JB. Let's be realistic. I'm not going to charge RRP for this as a dealer match because I wouldn't have paid RRP. So let's imagine it's $69. So you basically need two games and you've covered it. Two releases a year and you've covered your ass.
Two of these
big games.
Xbox exclusives, then yeah.
Not counting like some of the smaller indie stuff that they have as well, obviously. And that helps build up the money. But if you want to look at it an easy way, it's like, these Xbox exclusives, or even stuff like Rage 2. Say you didn't want to play Rage 2 day one, and you're like, yeah, it might come to Game Pass eventually, and then it does, and you're like, well, money saved.
Yep.
Go for go.
I'll tell you what, though, don't know how it's going to be sustainable.
Don't even start. So, last couple things to go over here. Bleeding Edge got a new trailer and reveal character of Cass. I think... So, I never really cared much about Bleeding Edge until we played it at PAX. And now I'm very much like, I want to be in the beta. Like when the beta opens, I'm jumping in. And before we played at PAX, I would have gave two shits about this game because I thought it just looked like another Overwatch ripoff. Well, not ripoff, but like genre.
Another Battleborn ripoff.
Yeah, another Battleborn ripoff. But after playing it at PAX, I was like, I really like the way this game feels. I like these characters. I like the humor. I like the design of the characters. I was enjoying playing it. So, I was definitely watching this trailer and everything with a bit more intrigue. I'm like, yes, Cass, cool. It's a hybrid character. It's melee and
I don't know who any of the other characters are.
No,
should have done
more research.
A bit more research.
But the trailer was cool. I definitely feel like, in a game like this where you've got the hero classes and like the characters are very important, I definitely feel like the characters look unique. They have a lot of variety, and also it stands apart from Overwatch, which I do think is really important because as much as it's not like this is more melee based and whatever else, the comparisons and stuff is going to happen no matter how hard they may think it's undeserved. And the character designs in this are way different than Overwatch, and they've got way more variety and stuff. You know, like one of the main female characters isn't some thin, you know what I mean? Like it's a bigger girl, which I think is good. You know what I mean? Like it's not like they didn't launch a game and be like, we've got the sexiest typical fucking female characters.
They have an old witch lady.
They got like they got an old witch lady and like some bigger burlesque type woman. I don't know what's happening, but cool. You know, definitely makes it stand out. They got a bit more variety in characters and stuff, and they all seem unique and fun. So I'm hoping. I think the beta is February something. I can't remember the exact date off the top of my head, but the beta opens like February something, and then the game's coming out March. They revealed. Tell Me More was revealed. It is the new game from. Don't know. You can tell we've been going for a bit too long here, and I've come straight from work because my brain's already dying a bit. But Don't Not revealed their brand new game, Tell Me Why, coming to Xbox and Windows PC exclusively. Steam as well, sorry. So PC exclusive and Xbox exclusive, basically. No other things here. Which makes me feel like, I'll add another factor in here, just quickly before we get into what the game's actually about. This is a 3-episode game that is going to drop all at once. Now, in the blog post they put up on the Xbox,
I don't think it's dropping all at once. It says starting summer 2020.
This is So it's got a clear schedule though, is what they're saying.
Yes.
So that's a big difference between
We're not going to get another Life is Strange 2 where comes out, it's up for Game Awards in 2018. It's probably going to be up for Game Awards again in 2019.
Well, it's eligible for us this year and it wasn't last year, and that's an important thing. That's a defining factor. So on the blog post on the Xbox website, it says here, the story of Tell Me Why is comprised of 3 chapters that will release on a clear and predictable schedule. Don't Nod are passionate about the opportunities for community building and audience engagement that comes with episodic storytelling, but they are also dedicated to innovation and improvement. So I found that interesting because, as it says here, it's like Peter Wise, general manager of Xbox Game Studios Publishing, said, "We listened closely to fans of narrative adventure games, and we heard loud and clear how painful, unpredictable gaps between episodes can be. We're thrilled to announce the entire Tell Me Why story. We were thrilled to announce that the entire Tell Me Why story will release in the summer 2020. So I guess that means like once a month, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I found that interesting because they say like the quote here about the opportunities for community building and audience engagement that come with episodic storytelling. It really does make it sound like they kind of enjoy doing Life is Strange and stuff, and like not like changing the story drastically, but at least being able to get feedback for certain things.
Seeing people react to them, people do after shows for different video game episodic
Beyond the
series.
Strange. Check it out at ExplosionNetwork.com. We'll have one more episode for the final of the season. It's our most popular show on Spotify. I know. I just found that interesting because I guess people always talk about it like, and we'll get to the actual game in a second, by the way. I just wanted to get this out of the way. But I found it interesting with the Life is Strange thing where people always say that, you know, because those games have had like 3 months episode schedules and people act like it's just them being lazy and taking forever. But that quote very much is like, we're not being lazy and taking forever. We actually are waiting, kind of, it seems. Like we're spacing them out this long so we can hear the player feedback and then produce the product.
Adjust.
Yeah, whereas people always feel like it's just taking that long because it's taking that long, whereas they actually enjoy the feedback, which I thought was an interesting quote to have.
So what they're saying is this time we're not going to do that.
Yeah, this definitely feels, but the Xbox person saying it definitely feels like Xbox is like, we will give you the money to help kind of fund this game potentially, or something,
we want it out quick.
Yeah, but it's going to release. It's going to have an actual stock standard release schedule. So tell me why is the next title from our partner Don't Nod Entertainment Studios writes the blog post. The studio behind the beloved Life is Strange franchise, set in a small town, Alaska. Tell Me Why places you at the heart of a mystery in an intimate, true-to-life story where twins Tyler and Alison Ronan use their extraordinary bond to unravel memories of a loving but troubled childhood. The core mechanic of the game is a special bond Tyler and Alison share, and is also a theme strongly anchored into the Don't Nod storytelling approach, explained Florent Guillaume, Tell Me Why's game director. Over the course of the story, players will explore the identical twins' different memories of key events and choose which memories to believe. Ultimately, the choices players make determine the strength of the twins' bond and the future course of their lives. Tyler and Elson are both playable characters and equal heroes in the story. We love them both, continued Gulam. I'm going with that, I'm very sorry. And we're especially grateful to Microsoft for its full support, openness, and help regarding Tyler's identity and character as a transgender man. Don't Nod has worked closely alongside Microsoft and the LGBTQ media advocacy organization GLAAD in shaping Tyler as an authentic representation of the trans experience as well as a genuine multi-dimensional character. Tyler is also the first playable video game hero from a major studio and publisher who is also transgender. Microsoft and Don't Nod have approached Tyler with a real commitment to the authenticity, explains Nick Adams, director of transgender representation at GLAAD. Tyler is a fully realized, endearing character whose story is not reduced to simplistic trans tropes. Creating a playable lead trans character and taking such care to get it right raises the bar for future LGBTQ inclusion in gaming. So, I think, so when they start playing the trailer, I was like, automatically, I'm like, Don't Nod, I'm in. I feel like I'm yet to I haven't played Vampire, but like obviously I like Life is Strange Season 1. I like Life is Strange Season 2. I see Don't Nod. I think at this stage they've got a tick in my box of their storytelling works for me.
It's good.
So I'm intrigued. Now they have in the past, and I would say they have pushed the envelope of different characters and these sorts of things. Even I think with Season 2, obviously of Life is Strange, they are playing with a lot of current like political themes still of America and these sorts of things and whatever else. So they don't seem like a developer that's afraid of tackling themes that major developers aren't willing to touch, I guess is the way to word it. And this is just another thing in that box, I guess. And I think it's really cool. So there's I saw different reactions to this because automatically when the news was announced, I was like, I think this is cool, right? Trans lead character in a video game being shown at Microsoft's, like a big event that has like 40,000 people watching, or where I was watching or whatever, and however long. I'm like, this is cool. This is very cool. But then I was like, okay, but I think this is cool. What do actual trans people think of this? So I went and looked up certain games media people who are trans that I follow on Twitter. I was getting their reactions, and most of them I could see were positive. Some of them had like a bit skeptical about, like, they're like, it seems cool, but
Cautious,
hopefully
yeah.
like it's pulled off well and it's not just kind of cheesy, corny, and like bad or whatever. And they're hoping. I think the narrative kind of progressed positively more throughout the day as more information came out about it. So because people are like, are they having actual, like, how involved are?
Because the trailer itself was pretty. There's probably just like one line that hints at that, but otherwise it is pretty mysterious and
mysterious,
vague.
very much. Yes. So they've got the GLAD person helping. Cool. They did say that so on the team of writers for the game, there's no trans person. So that was something that people were like, maybe we should have tried to get someone. But then they've also said that they've had acquaintances, friends, and whatever from different studios or outside sources come in and help with the writing. So that's good. They've also said, and I should have wrote down, I had it here somewhere and I've lost it, to be honest, but the person voicing the character is a trans person. And they said that that's an English voice acting that they've locked in at the moment. And they said that they're actually working to make sure that in all of the different localizations for the game that they're going to, they're trying their hardest to find a trans person to voice it in every other language as well, which I think shows that they're really fucking trying, I feel. So overall, I think this is really cool, to be honest. I think it's showing that Don't Nod is continuing to kind of push and storytelling in different sorts of directions and stuff. Of course, I've seen in Facebook groups and stuff, because of course it was. I'm like, I knew it would show up. I kind of went looking for it on purpose, to be honest. But I knew I'd go into certain Facebook groups and people were like, why does it matter? Like, the character, why is this focusing on this? It shouldn't matter. Why the, SJW game, all this sort of stuff. I'm like, glorious. I love it. Eat it up. Get salty. But I'm intrigued. I'd play it no matter what, as I just said, because I like Don't Nod storytelling. But I definitely feel like, as I said, I just feel like watching a trailer and then be like, transgender man is one of the star characters of this basically AAA feature title on Xbox show. We're going somewhere in the world. That's cool. Get hyped, everyone. Get excited. Did you have any other thoughts on Tell Me Why? Tell me why.
No, just good. It looks like it's in the art style of Life is Strange, so cool. As long as it's done tastefully and that kind of thing. But it looks like it's a very much they got hints of a very deep and emotional, dark story. Yeah,
it seems like they're tackling a lot of stuff to their parents and whatever else. So I guess you can you think, I feel like you can fall into certain tropes there, but I guess it depends how they tackle it. Like when it comes to parents and a trans character and stuff.
And how, if you play it a certain way, you could be like, no, none of that stuff happened, I guess.
That's true, because you get to pick the truths. Yeah, that is actually very true.
So if you want to be a bit dick about trans, I guess this game will let you do that.
Last thing that they've revealed was Halo Reach is coming to the Master Chief Collection on December 3rd. So if you've brought the Master Chief Collection, or obviously if you have it on Game Pass, you get this as well. So they're continuing to build the Master Chief Collection. I always find this funny that the game released as here's the Master Chief Collection, here's the 3 games or whatever, and then they've just kind of kept adding games to the collection. So it's like now if you have the disc copy, it's like we're nearly at a point where they've released as many games post-launch that you have to download after. You know what I mean? It's quite interesting. And the last fact I want to add to this, because there's not much to say about this, because neither of us have played the Halo games, but the Halo games that I continue to say that I should play continue to build, continuously grow. The list doesn't get smaller because I still haven't played any of them. It just gets bigger. And that is X019. Good job, everyone. It was a decent show. We enjoyed our time. I enjoyed my time. No, I mean it was a bit long, but overall, enjoyed my time. If you had to pick one thing or two things stand out the most off the top of your head, what do you reckon you'd go with?
I mean, tell me more. I feel like just because that was probably like one of the first trailers I saw when I tuned in. Like I woke up this morning. Hey, it's on now. I thought it was later.
Yeah, that time zone.
That's about it.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, Grounded looks cool. Obsidian's got a good track record, so yeah.
Yeah, I reckon I'd go Tell Me More and then Everwild because I just really like the art style.
Yeah.
Even though I don't know if the game's good, but I really just like the pretty art style. Anyway, thank you for joining us this week on The Couch. Make sure you check out explosion.com for all our shows, reviews, news articles, and much more. Things including we mentioned, which of course was Death Stranding review, All Around Explosion, Platinum Explosions, last 50-minute episode about Death Stranding. All those many things. You can review RK Couch on Apple Podcasts or Podchaser to help out the show, or simply share it on social media and tag us all and be like, cool, had a great time, listen to the show, good job. You can follow us, The Explosion Network, on Twitter at ExplosionPod. And you can join our Discord, which is coming to Xbox Project Scarlet. No, I don't know. ExplosionNetwork.com/Discord. You can follow me on Twitter at Vivaladil, VIVALADIL. You can follow Ash on Twitter at AshleyHobb, BISHLEYHABLEY. And we will see you here next week. Same time, same couch.